today I basically just want to give you just a little bit of background about who I am and how I got to this point in my life. So I did write my outline and I did everything like this one. I did do my outline a little bit. I really feel like originally it's like a lot that I want to say, but I don't want this video to be 2 hours long, so I'm just gonna get like some key points and then certain stuff that'll just be there on the video. I feel like I'm answering the question of like who am I? And that's such a broad, such an awkward question. And then I remembered that there was a lady on TikTok who said to describe yourself without using like your ethnic age. What that is definitely dragonfly. Without using your ethnicity, your age, or like your career and all that stuff. And so when I thought of that, I was like, no, really, who am I? And I wrote, a spiritual being who loves art and all forms of life, who inspires to influence those who wish to improve themselves for the better, a creator, God's child. Now with that, that's to me who I truly am, because that is who I am. I am a spiritual being. I do love art. Like art literally is life. And I do want to inspire people to be their better selves, because honestly, for a very long time, I didn't have someone to do that, and life just was so hard. Like, I remember when I felt like it was just me, especially when I was dealing with depression and everything like that. We're gonna get there. So basically, I have been dealing with depression and anxiety since the age of 12. I am now 25. I knew what it's really crazy, because I literally woke up one day and like my whole energy, like everything about my life, just it was just like a dark cloud just over me, and it was just a shift. But I feel like it's crazy because I knew exactly what it was. Like I just woke up one day at the age of 12 and was like, I'm depressed, and that's just what it was. And I didn't know how to talk to anybody about it, because I feel like my friends at that time, like in middle school, wouldn't understand what I was going through. And then I knew that my parents wouldn't understand. And plus, they really wasn't a safe space for me when it came down to my emotions. So I was just basically going through the emotions and feeling down and just being to myself, holding it in. And it just got worse over time. So probably like a few months after like I really noticed it, going to like the age of 13, is when I started being suicidal. I was just annoyed. Like, I really can't even explain to you why I wanted to do it. I think I just was overwhelmed with trying to overwhelmed with trying to be such like the perfect child, get the perfect grades, and just have all the answers to what life is. And that sounds so crazy looking back at it. It's like, what 13-year-old used to have that all figured out, you know what I mean? But I felt like I did, because I felt like that's what was expected of me. I needed to know what I wanted to be. I needed to know what I wanted to do. I needed to figure out who I was. When in reality, at 13, you're supposed to be doing trial and error to figure all that stuff out naturally, but I didn't have the safe space to naturally figure that out. Anything that I really wanted to do creative-wise got shot down in some way, shape, form. Like at one point, I wanted to be a dancer and do ballet. It was like a ballet set on a DVD, right? And it came with like a mat, and it had like the footprints on it, and it came with a bench. And you would just follow the DVD to learn how to do the certain positions. And I had that, and everything was cool. But then my bench had broke, and it cut my hand. And I, after that, I didn't get a new one, so that was the end of that for a while. And then also in middle school, like music was my thing. Like I would literally go home and be on YouTube. like all day, listening to music, watching music videos, listening to beats. Like music was just so fascinating to me, and I knew that I made the decision that I wanted to be a music producer, and I stuck with it. I was just like, that's what I want to do. I want to be a music producer. That's what I'm going to, if I'm going to go to school, that's what I'm going to go to school for, right? So probably about 16, I think that's when I told my mother that, because in high school I was an Avid, and some recruiters for the Upper Brown program had came and asked us like we want to join, da da da. Basically, what the Upper Brown program is a program that you go to for 6 weeks during the summer, and every Saturday out of the month during the academic year, and you basically like when you go during the academic year, they like just help you with your homework and stuff on a Saturday. Like if you need help, they got teachers and stuff there. But when you go during the summer, you're basically taking the classes that you would take that following school year. So you're basically going to be ahead of everybody else. And I had bought the pamphlet home. I didn't want to do it, but I just bought the pamphlet home or whatever. And my mother just like, "Oh, you're going." And I'm just like, it's not like I don't get a choice in this, because and she basically was like, "No, you either going to go to do the program, or you want to go live with your father." And in my head, it's like, for one, I don't know why, but one of my father seemed like a punishment to me, because I never like lived with him. So it was just like, what the hell? And then it's just like, well, damn, as like, what was I, like 14, 15? I didn't want to give up my summers to be in school. Like, I'm basically leaving school to go to school. I don't want to do that. Like, what child wants to do that? And she's like, oh, well, you're not going to be running the streets like all these other kids. And in my head, I'm like, bro, it's the summertime. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? But anyway, so I basically didn't have no choice. I ended up going. And I went, and I met some real cool people there that ended up being like real and influential in my life. I ended up being like real cool with, and I had met Jazzy there. Rest in peace to Jazzy. That's crazy, because you know how like your soul just tell you something. Literally, the first day that we got there, we was all in like, everybody who got accepted or like really came back to like really be in the program. It was county and city students all together. So everybody came in, I guess, for check like just everybody to like understand the gist of the program. And when I saw her, I knew that I was gonna be friends with her. Like I can't even tell you how I knew, but like my spirit just knew, like y'all gonna be friends. I didn't even see her face. Like I just seen a tall, dark skinned girl. But yeah, so we ended up being cool. It was me, Jazzy, and a few other people. But that was gang or whatever. So cool. And it was like real cool. Like I ain't gonna lie, it was stressful though, because we had classes and stuff, and we had like homework every day, study hall. We had time to go to the gym on campus, but our whole schedule was made out for us. Like if we had free time, it was in our schedule to have free time, or we just looked up and had free time. But it was very stressful. We had homework, projects, essays. We that was like a grading system. So like if you didn't get like I feel like if you I think it was like by a GPA or something like that, you would get kicked out, or if you end up fighting, you would get kicked out. It was just it was just a whole lot. But um I was depressed even then. Like I feel like everybody at that time was going through it one way or another. Like, and they was really, it's like a college readiness program, so they putting it in our head of like, what do you want to do when you get older? What college do you want to go to? All this and all that. We did eventually ended up doing like college tours every year. We did go to like some trips, so like we would do, we would go to like certain amusement parks, or in between college told we would like go to the city or that whatever state we was in and like go do something or go eat and stuff like that. But but my depression was just kicking my ass at that time. And I really just felt alone because at the end of the day, people that I was around, some of them did understand, but it's only so much that another person can do, especially if you're not seeing them all the time. Because most of my friends at the program lived in the city, I lived in the county, so I'm only gonna see you when I see you, type shit. And having a narcissist mother, it was just like hard as fuck. And I didn't even like realize that my mother was narcissist until later on. I didn't even know what a narcissist was until probably like 3 years ago. So it's like once I figured that out and then realized that I had a narcissist mother, everything just clicked for me. And it was like I really had no say so, or felt like I had no say so on the things that I liked could do. Like everything was just basically do this. If we don't do this as a consequence. I didn't like that. Like I had no real creative freedom to be me. So if I'm sitting here and trying to be the person that somebody else wanted me to be and do what somebody else wanted me to do, it's like how am I supposed to learn myself? How am I supposed to know who I am when I'm sitting here stressed out and trying to be the perfect child that you want me to be? And it was just too much emotionally. Like, okay, cool. If I felt some type of way, I couldn't say nothing about anything because to her, it's like, oh, you talking back or you just being smart or you don't know what you're talking about. Then, okay, cool. It's like growing up and you younger. I had a smart mouth and still do, but okay, cool. I'll give you that. But certain things of like, okay, Jasmine got killed by her ex in 2018, right? That shook my world. Let me tell you how. Matter of fact, let's back up some. 2016, right? I graduated high school, and you know, at UMBC, which is where the Upper Brown program is, if you ever want to look it up. At that time, we like filling out for college applications, all this and all that. I did not know what I wanted to be in life at all. Even though, you know, at first I wanted to be a producer and I wanted to, you know, try to be in the music industry, it was pushed out of my head so much by everybody around me that that wasn't a logical thing to pursue at the time, that I really wasn't confident enough in myself to just go and pursue. So when they asking me like, what do you want to be or what do you want to do? It's like, I don't know. And then I feel dumb because I feel like I'm the only one who don't know. Everybody know what they want to do or what college they want to go to. And all this and all that. So I ended up applying to a college called the University of Akron, which is in Akron, Ohio. And that was literally the only college that I applied to. And I got accepted. So because I got accepted, now I gotta go. And I really didn't want to go because, for one, it's in Ohio. I don't know a soul in Ohio. I don't even have family out there. Like, why would I pick, out of all the states that we had went to, why would I pick Ohio? And so my mother was like, oh, where you're going? Da 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 da. And my grandmother was like, well, I don't think that she should go. You know, I think that she should at least like do 2 years here and then transfer because, again, I don't know a single fucking soul in Ohio. But she like, no, she needs to go to college out of state and see the world, da 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 da. So I went, right? Cool. You know how for college, when you get a roommate, they text you around a certain time before y'all move in, they text you that person information so like y'all can have some type of contact before it's time to move in or whatever. That happened. I texted my roommate, everything was cool, right? Move in day comes. Driving 6 hours up there. I get there just to text my roommate like, hey, I just moved in. Like, are you coming soon? And she tell me like, oh, I picked another college. That should have been a red flag number one, okay? Because if my roommate is going to another college, girl, why are you here? You already didn't want to be here. Pick up your shit and go home. But literally, Once I unpacked all my stuff, I got physically sick. Like my stomach was hurting, my head was hurting. I did not feel good, and I couldn't figure out why. But it was just like I just did not want to be there. But I stayed, and I only stayed for one semester. The whole experience was terrible. Like, I was like I said, I was sick, stomach hurting, head hurting for about like 3-4 days. I didn't know nobody. Um, like before, like the week before class started, they had like the little field day or whatever for people, for like freshmen and stuff, so like they can get to learn the campus and then we're certain buildings, all that. So I ended up doing that, and I met this girl during this one random ass activity. We ended up being cool for a little bit, but that like quickly ended because I found out that she was a gold digger. Now, ain't nothing wrong with gold diggers, you see what I'm saying? You live how you live, you do what you do. That has nothing to do with me. The issue came when, like, we would go out, like, we went to, like, a hookah lounge one day, and it was cool, but it's like, she from Ohio. She got family out here. She got friends out here already. Like, I'm new to what's going on, to this whole situation. So it's like, I felt like I was the odd one out. And then on top of that, like I said, she was hanging with certain types of men. And one of the guys that she was with this one day, she was with like him and his friend, and his friend was actually asking for like, we got any homegirls or whatever. So she put me on with this dude, right? I'm not thinking nothing of it at first. Mind you, I'm 18. So, and she wasn't that, she probably, I think she was like 18, 19. Like, she wasn't that much older than me. So, I ended up getting his number, whatever, linking up with him. This man was 30. Like, what? He was the plug, mind you. Like, okay, cool, you got money, that's fine. But you're 30 years old and you bald. Like, this ain't really go nowhere immediately. Like, ew, no, get away from me. And it was so weird because he all like, I want to be with you. Like, I want to meet your parents. Da, 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 da. Sir, my parents are in their 30s. Like, this is not, I can't take you home. Like, what are you talking about? So we had went on a few dates or whatever. I tried to like force myself to really like see if I liked him. Didn't like him at all. Immediately got the ick. It was too much. I had got like this really, really weird feeling around him when I was alone with him. And it was like, take me home, I can't do it. And he ended up getting mad. It was like, oh, I spent money on you and I was thinking about all this and all that. And I didn't care. After a while, I just blocked him and he was just talking to himself. It was what it was, right? So boom, that's one thing that was there and gone very quickly. Like probably not even a semester is 4 months. That probably all happened in a month's time span. So boom, no more homegirl. Then I was talking to this guy that he was from DC, but I stopped talking to him because I found out that he was messing with other girls from Cleveland. So I let that go. And it was just like, I'm really over it. I'm over everybody here. Like, the people that I had classes with, it was even weird. Like, it was just weird, bro. Like, I feel like there was only one girl that I was like, she was kind of cool, and she had went with me. Well, she took me to this tattoo shop because I told her I wanted to get a tattoo or whatever. And that flower, the lily that I have on my chest, she had went with me to go get that or whatever. So that was cool. But like other than that, like we ain't never talked after that. I think she even dropped that class or something. So like I never seen her again. But after a while, I was just like back to being by myself. So for like the last 2 months of school, I was by myself. Mind you, I didn't have a roommate. I ain't had no job up there, so I wasn't really making no money. My peoples really couldn't send me that much money when I was up there because it's like they had their own bills and stuff the same way like when I was here. So it was just the whole nine. Being depressed, not being happy. And mind you, I had told her like I want to go for the music profession. She's like, no, I think that you should go for business administration. You can do anything with business degree, you can do it. So that's what I was in Akron for, and I hated it. My classes were boring because I didn't go up there to take my accuracy test, so they didn't have any real test scores to see where to place me. So I just was taking like average basic classes, reading, college algebra, all that stuff. Um, so after a while, I just got tired of the same routine. The one class that I did enjoy, I ended up having a drop, which was modern dance. That was my 1 8 o'clock class. I actually enjoyed that class, and I ended up dropping it because our final was to perform in front of somebody, and I had real bad anxiety with that, so I had to drop it because I'm not performing in front of anyone. I even tried out for the model team that was there for the school, and I dropped out of that as well because we had a dance that they had made up, and we had to perform it in front of a panel of judges, and I literally got down to the bottom of where they was at to perform and bust out crying, like ugly crying, because my anxiety just kicked in. And the reason why I had that anxiety of that is because when I was like 12, I was at my godmother's house, and me and my god sister and our little friend at the time had performed a dance that we had made up to what song was that? Chris Brown. Was it Yo? I think it was. So Chris Brown, Yo, and my mother basically had like made fun of me. And even though it could have been like in an actual joking ass manner, to me, I didn't find the shit as a joke. I felt like she was shaming me. So that be like stuck in the back of my head. So now I don't perform in front of people. I only really was dancing in front of people at UMBC because we would dance to like Jersey music and shit, and I was comfortable with them, so I didn't care. But anybody else that's like actually having to judge me, I don't do it. My anxiety kicks in, and I haven't danced in front of anybody since. So that was that. I ended up, again, like I said, the last 2 months being there, I was real depressed, real over it. And it got to the point where I wanted to unalive myself, right? And the wind just keep blowing, and I'm stopping because I feel like I'm not gonna be able to get myself in my head. But I was just like really done for over it, and I was gonna slip my wrist because I always had a pocket knife somewhere. So I was thinking I'm just gonna slip my wrist or have a pocket, and nobody won't find me anyway. So like I don't have a roommate, I don't have no friends who won't check on me. Nobody who's gonna be in here dead. But I ended up not doing it because I have a tattoo on my wrist of me and my brother initial little hearts on it on my left arm. And the reason why I did that at the age of 17 was because of my suicide attempts. And I knew that if I really would slit my wrist, I would see that and think of my brother and know that, like, I can't do that to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, me being the oldest and, like, my brother really being my heart, I'm just not, I just can't do that to him. So I didn't do it. I ended up calling room and board and canceling for the next semester. Called financial aid, canceled it. Like I canceled everything, basically telling them that I wasn't coming back after summer break. Because at this point, we ready to leave. And I had called back to my old job that I had at 18, which was Dairy Queen. And I called them and was like, hey, I'm coming back. You know, can I start working again? They told me, like, yeah, we selling the store, but you can still come back and get hired. You just got to refill out the application. I said, okay, cool. So I called my mother because in my head, it's like, yeah, I'm not doing what you wanted me to do, but I still got stuff lined up for when I do come home. So I called her crying hysterically, telling her, like, I'm not happy here. This is not what I want to do. I want to be a music producer. You know, I canceled everything, so I have to come home. I have a job when I come home, so it's really not an issue. She basically was cussing me out and laughing at the fact that, like, the fact that I was even crying about the shit was a joke to her. So after that, I basically was just completely done with her when it came down to, like, my future and stuff. So I came home and I started working and all that stuff. And she like, well, you still gotta go to school. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to school for music production. That's what I'm gonna do. So I went to Sheffield Institute for 2 weeks, which is like a little bit past housing. And I only went for 2 weeks because After the 2 weeks, you basically have to figure out a way to pay because they don't get financial aid. So it's either you apply for the two loans that they say that you can get with them, or you pay 4 grand out of pocket. I couldn't get the loans because I didn't have a cosign at the time because I had to get a cosigner for loans for Akron. And I also didn't have 4 grand just to pull out of my pocket, so I had to stop going. So then I ended up going to CCBC. And at first, I think I went for human resources because I knew that I wanted to help people, but like I never knew exactly what. So I was just like, let me go for that and then figure it out later on. But I was going to financial aid for something, and I had ended up getting like a majors sheet, and it had like all the majors and stuff. And I seen it, they had music production and audio tech. So I called my mother and told her like, hey, they have it. This is what I'm gonna go forward to do. She was like, okay, whatever. So I changed my major, and I was doing that. And this was probably, I don't know if this was fall or spring semester, but anyway, I ended up doing it. And at first, everything was cool. But I started getting real discouraged and depressed because I wasn't able to pick up the material. And it was bothering me for the fact of I used to play a whole instrument in middle school. Like I played the clarinet. So to me, it's like, how am I not able to read music anymore when I used to really do this? Like if I was reading English, like it used to be like really easy for me, but I just couldn't understand it. Like I just couldn't. The wind is blowing. Like I just couldn't get it. It just wasn't working. So I was already depressed about that. Just trying to like keep my house up, and all this stuff, right? Then my friend Jasmine had kids. I heard about her ex, and that happened like right after. So that's all within 2018. So that's all within 2018. That, like I said, shook my world, and I couldn't. Like, that was the icing on the cake for me because she was one of the people where it's like her spirit was just A1. And she was always like the positive one out the group, and she was just very inspiring in what she do, who she is, stood her ground. Like she was just a solid one, and it really was like, is just no way that you can like to know her is to love her. Who could nobody could hate her ever? Like it's just not possible. But her ex ended up like, I don't want to say setting her up, but kind of setting her up into, or tricking her into meeting up with him. He ended up beating her and killing her because she didn't want to be with him, and he basically couldn't take that. And it was crazy to me because when I found out that she was murdered, I immediately knew that it was him. And I felt like that because even back at, like, we was at the program, and he went there too, but only for a little bit. He was a weird ass nigga. Like, he would blow her phone up all the time. He would try to make her feel bad if she wouldn't answer him, or if she didn't want to talk to him, or she didn't want to be friends with him no more. And like, she would try to like be nice to him and allow him in her life, but he was real controlling and just very manipulative. Like, he was just a weird ass nigga. Like, I'm trying not to cuss his kids around, but he was just mad weird. So I knew that it was him because in my head, that's the only person that I know on this earth that's, for one, taller than her, because she was like 6 feet. Like 6 feet, 6'1". So in my head, he the only one that's taller than her and stronger than her, and that's the only one that would have ill intent towards her. Because like I said, to know her is literally to love her. Like, no exaggeration, like no funny shit. So when I found that out, my depression just went from an 8 to a 25. Like, I stopped going to school because I felt like, why am I going here? I already don't know the material. I'm already failing. So it's no point. I literally went, took my midterms, never went back. And because my mother and my stepfather worked at night, they didn't know what was what. They would literally, I would tell them my schedule when they would literally come and ask me, like, hey, to track class today. And just like, bro, you know my schedule. Like I told you my schedule 1,000 times, but they could never remember. So I would just lie and be like, yeah, or it was canceled, or yeah, I went whole time there in my room all day. But nobody knows. So then I was dealing with her death, and I took that really hard because, like I said, she was somebody that really, she was really somebody that inspired me to like really be myself and love myself. And she was really somebody that inspired me to be myself and love myself and to do what I wanted to do. Like, and I will always say, like, when I become a music producer, we gonna make an album, da da da. Because she was a singer, a real damn good singer at that. So that was like a goal of ours, and it was just like, damn, like I lost somebody who was important in my life, even though they wasn't in my life the whole time. Because like after UMBC and like after like graduating and stuff, we did lose touch, and I felt like that was a part of it was my fault because I could have easily just reached out to her more, but I didn't. And I regret that so much now because I regret that so much now because it's like I can't get none of those memories back, and I could have had way more if I just would have tried. So yeah, and going through all that, right, and being depressed for like school and her death, right, I had okay. So y'all have to go in order to make sense. So after a while, me and my mother at this point in time was damn near just basically beefing because we just wasn't seeing eye to eye. And it's like, I don't want to talk to you. You don't understand me. You're not even really around. You always arguing. So I really don't care to explain nothing and everything going on, right? And one day, she woke me up out my sleep. It's probably like, I want to say it's like 2 in the morning. She literally, I don't have no tissue. I didn't think I was going to be crying in all this whole video. She literally woke me up out my sleep to tell me that she think that I was using Jazzy death as an excuse for my depression. She told me that she felt like it wasn't that big of a deal. She told me that basically that I should just get over it and there's nothing wrong with me. Right? That was the gist of the conversation. I don't remember everything word for word because that was in 2018. So after I let her say all of the bullshit that she was saying, I went into my room and I had, at that time, I was taking medication, and it was because for one of my checkups, I'm about to cry again. For one of, I hate crying in public. For one of my checkups at that time, I had went and they had asked me like, was I okay? So like, I need to talk about anything. And for the first time, I had like opened up to my doctor and basically told her like I'm not okay. Like I told her about school, and I had told her about the Jasmine getting killed and everything. And so they had me talk to the social worker, and I talked to the social worker, and because the social worker knew like who Jasmine was, I believe they had went to like the same church or something, or she knew about the case from the news. But because she knew that that's what I was like, what I was talking about, I took that as a sign that I should take her help, and she offered me to go to therapy, so I did. And after going to therapy for a little bit and then seeing a psychiatrist, after going to therapy for a little bit and seeing the psychiatrist, I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and PTSD. So I was on 4 different medications for that, or for everything, and I was taking them for a little bit, but I didn't really like the medication because after a while it made me numb. Like, I was completely numb to everything. You literally could have came to me and told me that your dog died, and I wouldn't have gave a fuck. I'd have been looking at you like, why are you telling me this? Like, we're not supposed to deal with that. Like, I had no emotions, and that's not me. Like, I'm a very emotional person. I've been told that I'm sensitive my whole life. So for me to go from being a sensitive person to having no emotions at all towards nothing is weird. Like, I felt so weird. So going back to what I was saying about that conversation with my mother, boom. She said all she had to say. That was her opinion, which was so ignorant. Like, the whole conversation was completely ignorant. And I just was done with her. And I was done with life. And I was just like, I don't care no more. So I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna take all my medication and OD, and she gonna find me in the morning, and that's gonna prove to her ass. Like, that's just how I felt. Like, I'ma have the last laugh because I'ma be gone like I want to, and then she's gonna have to sit with the fact that that was the last conversation that she had with me. Right. So, um, I was in my room, sitting in darkness, complete darkness, and I was just crying and crying because literally the wind. Literally, I just felt like the devil was on my back, bro. Like, it was just this real deep darkness on me. And it was so, I feel like I can't hear myself. So I'm gonna, so the wind stopped blowing. So, like I said, the wind still blowing. But I hope y'all can hear me. So, like I said, I was in my room, sitting on it, like the edge, middle of my bed, the middle edge of my bed, just crying because why did the wind keep blowing and I'm trying to talk? Okay, that's what I was saying. So I was sitting in my room on my bed in pure darkness, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna take these pills. Fuck it. I know I'm OD off of them, so it is what it is. And I just felt like the devil was on my back. It was like just this real darkness on me. Like, it was just on me, and it was scary because I had never felt nothing like that before. And I was just crying, and then I started praying, and I was just asking God to give me strength. And I'm just like, I'm not going to do it. Like, God, just be with me. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm tired, but God, like, I'm just tired, but just help me. I'm tired, but just help me. So I ended up, um, I took the pills and what's the word? I took them and I dumped them down the drain. So now I'm not taking any medications. I don't have none. I took all of the medication. I dumped them all down the drain. So that was that. And I just told her, like, yeah, I'm taking medication and what to do. And I just said, like, because I didn't like that way it made me feel. Like, that was the reason. So after that, I made it up in my mind that I will no longer be dealing with my mother. Like, her to sit and tell me that she think that I was using Jazzy Deck as an excuse. No respect after that, because how can you sit there and say it to somebody? Like, I just couldn't respect her after that. And then we still was beefing because she felt like I was being lazy and that I wasn't doing it with my life because I wasn't working at the time. And she was like, "You not just want me laying around in my house doing nothing, all this and all that, whatever, whatever." So we would just have our back and forth. So I just want to say shit to her. But I still got these notes to this day. At 11:49 p.m., I had woke up out of my sleep because I have insomnia, so I'm bound to wake up a few times in the night. And I heard my mother talking on the phone, and usually she would be on the phone with either my grandmother or one of her friends at the time. But I don't think she was talking to my grandmother, only because I feel like my grandmother wouldn't have allowed her to dog me out the whole conversation. You see what I'm saying? So this is basically what she said, and I literally have the notes on my phone because I was listening to her because her room was right next to mine. So she said that my depression was an excuse and it was taking me too long to get over it. She said, and I quote, "You so depressed, but all over social media. Depressed people don't even be on social media. So you technically lied for nothing," end quote. I don't know what the hell I lied about, but whatever. She said I fucked up my own life. Then she was talking about the situation that happened at Dairy Queen. Backstory. In 2016, I got suspended from Dairy Queen for 3 days because I refused to clean the trash cans. Now, she think that I just refused to clean the trash cans because I think I'm too good to clean the trash can, and that's not what happened. I was working there for damn near 2 years collectively. Obviously, I cleaned the damn trash can before. That wasn't the case. The case was the manager that had asked me to do it. Me and her did not get along for one, and the way that she asked me was disrespectful. And on top of that, it was the third time this week that I was assigned to do it, and I felt like that was unfair, given it was a bug. I felt like that was unfair given the fact that one, we already don't like each other, and it's the third time you making me do it this week, and I'm not the only one in here. So you showing favoritism? No, I'm not doing it. Find somebody else to do it, literally. So I got suspended, and I didn't give a damn. So she brought that up for whatever fucking reason, because that's not even relevant 3 years later. And she said that I want to be like everybody else. She said that me and her don't have a relationship. She said that I play on my stepfather, quote, "go in there and talk a bunch of BS, or I'm depressed," end quote. She said he feeds into my best bullshit. She says, quote, "if you don't like it, the door is always open. You can always get the fuck out," end quote. She says, quote, "I'm proud of my daughter, but yo, you cannot be this fucking crazy. You cannot be this fucking stupid," end quote. Then she laughed about the Ohio situation, which I already explained about how I was crying hysterically, telling her that I wanted to be a music producer and that I was ready to come home, not knowing that I was ready to again in my life. So, ever since then, again, another point of when I lost respect for her. So after that, it was just like mad tension. So I ended up praying to God, like, I can't take this no more. Like, just get me out the house, bro. Like, I can't be in this environment. Like, I can't fix my mental in this environment. Just get me out this house. In 2020, I got put out in May. It was May 11th, and I know that because it was my first day of doing driving school again. And she had literally texted me in the middle of me being in driving school, telling me to pack, when I'm done with class, to pack all my shit and get out and to leave her kid. And you know what I did after class? Got all my shit, hiked my stuff up to my grandmother's house, back and forth, and dropped her keys at the table and never looked back. So, um, that was it. I tried to start my verse again because I was over it. Because the whole situation, I'm not even going to say everything right now, but that whole situation of that day and how I ended up getting put out was dumb. And it was just like OD. So, yeah, I ended up trying to do that again, but again, I didn't do it because of my tattoo. But I came real close, like knife to my skin. I'm just fine. Like, so this had to been like mid-June, early July. So this phone that I have right here, my 8, used to be under my mother's plan. This is my old phone. At the time, all the stuff that I just explained was happening, right? And I was telling her, like, you know, can you take the phone off your plan so I can put it in my name, because I'm ready to pay my own cell phone bill because I'm working now. Because one thing about her, she'll throw shit back in your face. Same way how when I got kicked out, I had just grabbed the stuff that I knew I needed at that time, and then my stepfather brought me the rest of my stuff. And that day that he brought me my stuff, she literally texted me. I was like, "You worried about getting all your stuff, but I'm the one that bought all that stuff. Da da da. Girl, I don't care." So she acting like it was so hard for her to get the phone on her name and all this and all that. So it was just like, okay, whatever. So me and her wasn't talking, and she thought she was being smart and got my phone turned off. But what she didn't know was I had got paid that same week. So that Friday, I literally went to T-Mobile and bought the phone that I'm recording on right now. So then I'm on the phone with my friend at the time, and we just talking about stuff or whatever. And my grandmother on the phone with her, and she ended up saying some smart shit, and I'm just like basically saying like I don't care, because she's talking about the phone, and I'm telling her that like I really don't give a fuck. Like it is what it is, because I already got a new phone, so I'm not worried about the old phone because I already got a new one. When you can get it out your name, get it out your name. So she basically that I was being smart or whatever, and she was like, "And you probably over there being a hoe and all this and all that. I come over there and fuck you up with you." I don't give a fuck. So I'm laughing at her because it's like you're mad as shit, and I don't care. Like you mad for no reason. Like your emotions are so high, and I'm chilling because I already got a phone, so I'm not worried about her. So she gonna come around there, make a whole big scene, really try to fight me and like this the whole nine. Like when I mean really try to fight me, like she really was trying to swear with me. And my grandmother was in the middle of all this and all that. She ended up breaking the door and some more shit. So ever since that day, I lost is no coming back from that with me. Like we will never come back from that because of the fact that her and my grandmother had their own issues and problems or whatever. And even since I was a kid, my mother has always promised me that she will never try to put her hands on me like I'm somebody off the street. She has promised me that multiple times throughout my childhood. And I put her, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I trusted her with that promise because I've seen what her and my grandmother have been through with each other. So it's just like, that was a promise to me that, like, I felt like you would never break. And she did. So from that day forward, I don't expect to, bro. Like, at this point, I was in 2020, I was 22. I'm already grown now. It is what it is. You did what you had to do as far as raising me, like you said, and that was it for me. So then I cut her off. And it was hard for my grandmother because she like, well, you only get one mother, all this and all that, da 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 da. Because to her, it was only me, my grandmother, and my mother. It was just us three because my grandfather had passed when I was in the second grade. So, um, so yeah, she was just like, you only get one mother, you should talk to her, woo woo woo. And I was like, no, I'm not. And I ended up cutting my stepfather off because that became a problem for them of how can you talk to him and not talk to your mother and all this and all that. And it's like my stepfather was literally the only person within us that understood me emotionally because he understood what depression was. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother and my mother don't really understand what that is. So What do you mean? That's the only little bit of a inkling of safe space that I had, and I really didn't even have it with him because I knew for a fact that if I would have told him anything serious, that he would immediately tell my mother. So I really didn't even trust him like that. I would just tell him enough that I could just feel like I could breathe a little bit, and then just deal with all the other shit on my own. So ever since then, me and my mother really haven't had no relationship. I really don't want one. Like I said, when my tooth got chipped, she did pay for it, but I am paying her back for that. So um yeah. Other than that, I have nothing to really say to her at all. Like, you don't know me, I don't want you to get to know me, and I'm grown now. Like, what can you really say? There's nothing that you can do. After all of that, I'm really cool on it emotionally. Like, I'm good. Like, he was there financially. He made sure I had a house over my head, and I never went hungry and all that. But emotionally, nah, I'm cool. I'm very cool on it. Like, um, I don't want a relationship. I have accepted that we will never have one. So that was that. And then also, like, my father was around, but he wasn't really around. Like, we don't really have a relationship like that either, for the simple fact of that's just what it's always been. And I really don't think he, like, know what that look like. And I don't blame him for that. It's just like, at the same time, at some point in age, you gotta figure that out. But he's not really I don't feel like he's really a safe space either. So I just been rocking with myself and figuring shit out by myself. Because even when it came down to like friends and stuff, you can tell somebody something and they can try to understand, they can try to give you advice, but if they really have not been through it at all, at the depth of how you have, they're not going, they really don't know how to tell you how to get through it. So that ended that quickly, and I tried therapy twice, but it just wasn't working for me. Again, I didn't like any of the medication that I was on, so I really just been out here just trying to figure out how to heal on my own and just get through the stuff that I've been through. Because a lot that I don't talk about, a lot that a lot of people don't know about, because who really want to listen? You already know that, like, I was coping with like weed and stuff for like from the age of like 18 to 24. I started coping with alcohol. That's how my tooth ended up getting chipped, because that went sour. Where I started coping with sex. I went through like a whole phase, and then I just was like, that's the only thing that I felt like made me feel good at the time. And that's how I ended up getting pregnant. But like I said, like, I don't smoke no more, I don't drink no more, I'm abstinent, so all that's out the window. I really just been talking to my mentor and my soul cousins and journaling, and just really starting to go back and accept the emotions that those traumatic experiences made me feel and how I got there. Like, I done been through some dark times, even in high school. Like, I done been betrayed by people that I literally would have died for. People that I'd have done anything for, I'd have helped out, gave a shirt off my back for, would have went to war for. But I just was always getting betrayed by people, especially females. Like, none of my female friends that I had besides Jasmine or that's it. But yeah, besides Jasmine was really like, and I'm talking about like friends, like, we really was like this. Nobody else really was like real legit solid with me. And I feel like that's why it hurt the most that she's gone, because I know that I ain't never felt that type of genuine care before within a friendship. And that's painful. And I hope that I can find it again, like in this lifetime. But even if I don't, I did experience it at least once. So cool. Um, yeah. All the other females basically were just weird. Like they either just want some hating shit or jealousy shit, or just would be mad at the fact that I'm a very isolated person. So like if I'm going through something, I'm gonna isolate myself from you because I don't want to sit here and explain what I'm going through, knowing that you're not going to understand what I'm going through. And whenever I would back away from them, they would see that as a threat. And so they would get weird and start talking behind my back and shit. But it's like if that's what you do when somebody is backing away from you, instead of asking if they was okay, you've been hating for whatever reason. And it's crazy because I haven't always had, well, I haven't always had like everything in the book, even though I never went without. But it's like I could have had more. But it's not like I never. It was people that had more than me, then the stuff that I had, like the basics, or just like fashion and all that, that had more than me, that would still be on some hate shit. Or just because they felt like I had a relationship with my mother that they didn't have, they were jealous of that, or how I carried myself, or how I just simply didn't give a fuck. And it's crazy because with my mother, like I would pretend, like to the public eye, that everything was okay. Like even with my family, like I would tell some of my cousins or like why I no longer fuck with her and like how shit happened. They would be like, "What? Like I thought y'all was like y'all had the perfect relationship." And it's like, no, I've been pretending like she was okay for years. I'm around y'all thinking everything cool all the time. I'm depressed as well. Like y'all would have never known because I would pretend that I'm okay all the time. From doing it, from being in school, being around families, being with friends, I got used to pretending that everything was okay. And then that's why when traumatic stuff happened, or when it just be like the icing on the cake or something that would push me off the edge, I would start being suicidal because I would just be so over it. But I'm to the point now, being 25 and like really looking back at everything that I've been through in my life when it comes to my mother, or feeling like I didn't have the best relationship with my father, or feeling alone and feeling misunderstood all the time, and having fake people around me, the wind keep going. I'm being sexualized early, and like as life goes on, and going through shit with that, and just trying to really understand who I am and what I want out of life. Once I turned 25, actually not even once I turned 25, honestly, after my abortion, I've been at peace this whole year. I haven't been depressed at not one time this year. Like, and it's August 18th, and I haven't been depressed not once. I've been cooling, I've been journaling, I've been trying to figure shit out. I've been working on my inner child, healing the traumas that I had from my parents, healing the emotional wounds that I have, the hypersexual experiences that I had, and just focusing on me, who I really am, and who I want to be in this life. And I feel good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really do. Like, even right now, the stage that I'm in my life right now, I've been in before. But even of how long this new journey has been going on, I would have been depressed by now. And I'm not. I'm literally taking this as a new journey and a new way of changing my perspective. I literally thank God every day for this new journey. I'm not worried about nothing. I know that everything that's supposed to come to me and be mine is on its way. It's all in God's timing. Like, I don't even question His timing no more. I just do what I gotta do for the day, make sure that I'm straight, and just be happy. And I feel like it's been working for me thus far. And I honestly can't really wait well, I can be patient, but I'm excited to see where this journey take me and how my outcome, how huge my outcome will be, because I know it will be greater than I can even imagine. Because I already know, but it's like I know it's going to be that times 10. Like, God just really going to show up and show out when it's my time. So, yeah, I think that's it. I basically, excuse me, I basically just wanted to come on here and give you a little bit of a summary of who I am, what I've been through, and where I'm at right now. But if you haven't already, go check out my other two videos. And something that I have also been focusing on is listening to my intuition, because that has also put me in a lot of crazy situations. Like I said, everything is a choice. And even though I did choose at some of my darkest times to be on like weird behavior and try to get lick backs and try to make people who hurt me hurt worse, I also, for one, knew that that was wrong, because God handles all. I don't even need to do anything. And two, certain people in my life, but before they even really was in my life, I knew that as soon as I met them or would talk to them that they shouldn't have been around me, because they either was wanting to know my business, trying to set me up, wanting to know what's going on, just to be like, have the hot tea on me. And I still would let those people in my life because I was trying to be a good person. And that got me nowhere. So if your body, if your intuition tell you that somebody ain't right, they not right. It's even times where, isn't it? Only got to put people. It's times where I've stayed at jobs that God told me, like, it's time for you to go. Like, your purpose, you no longer serve a purpose here. And I wouldn't leave because in my head, it's like I got bills. I can't just up and leave without a backup plan, and then I will end up getting fired. It can be the simplest thing, but just always listen to yourself. That's like the most important thing that you should take away from this. Always listen to your intuition. If you do suffer from mental illness, don't deal with it on your own. Please get professional help if you can. Um, if you have insurance, you can get it through your insurance. You can try to get, I think they have some grants for it. I'm not sure, but you can research it. Find a safe space for your emotions. Find a safe outlet. It can be a hobby. It can be singing, painting, journaling, free writing, exercising. Just work through the emotions and accept how you feel and move through it. You just gotta keep moving, because at the end of the day, and something that I really had to really sit down and realize, especially because like, for one, when I was born, I was premature. My mother had me at 5 months, and I was only a pound and a half. I flatlined 4 times. So then they were like, oh, well, she's not gonna make it to 2 years old. And if she do make it to 2 years old, the wind is blowing me. If she do make it to 2 years old, then she'll be a vegetable. I'm 20. I made it. Obviously, I'm 25 and I can function on my own with everything. I don't need assistance with anything. And it's such a blessing because the odds were stacked against me. I'm still here. I'm still surviving. I'm still doing my best. And God is making a way. He has always made a way for me. Even when I was at my lowest of lows, God never left me. And I'm so thankful for that. Because it's like, I feel like nobody, you really gotta understand it and really just gotta know that, like, you never alone. and you can get through anything. So I think that's it for today. I hope everybody has a great day and enjoy this amazing weather. Give love and be loved. And until next time, I'll see y'all. Well, I won't see y'all, but you get it, right?